Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea and here we talk about horror movies, paranormal stories, and all whilst I do my makeup. So today I will be talking about a couple of new movies on both Shudder and Netflix that I've watched, and we're gonna kind of do like a chit chat and get ready. But before we get into that, if you would please like and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I try to post every Friday, if not every other Friday. And also, speaking of that, today is October 1st. Today should be October 1st. And so happy spooky season, happy October. I know we are all very excited about that. So let's jump into this video and start doing some makeup, and we'll talk about these movies. Alright, we're gonna start with our NYX spray. I love my hair like this. It looks literally so freaking cute. Like, I feel like an anime character. But I need to tuck these so they aren't in my way. So obviously this will be going up after today, but who is watching the Elvira's 40th anniversary special? There's more words there. I don't remember what all it's called, but I'm super excited. It's on Shudder, and I've been waiting like 2 weeks. That's all I knew about for the last 2 weeks for this to come on. I'm so excited. So excited about that. Can't wait to watch it. I don't even really know what all it's gonna be. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see tonight. I'm going to live tweet it. Again, not that it matters now because this is the past, but for the future, anytime, usually if I watch a movie, I don't give away spoilers, but if I'm watching a movie or watching something like that, I love to like live tweet and give my opinions and stuff on the spot, because I don't know, I just am opinionated and like to give my opinions and talk about things that happened or funny things or whatever, or point out things that I saw, because I know other people out in the world have seen them, but sometimes like people on the show or movie or whatever don't acknowledge it. And I don't know, I can't even think of a good example of that, but if you watch movies and TV shows, you know what I'm talking about. There's always something where you're like, they didn't even acknowledge that this just happened. Like, why? But you put it on Twitter and like 10 other people be like, I know, right? And that's just what we all need. We all need to hear someone say, I know, right? Alright, let's do boop, boop, boop. And we'll blend this in. I guess not even blend it and just apply it, honestly. I need to wash these brushes. I love this. This is, excuse you, this is my black craft hoodie. I literally love it so much. It's so cute. Oh, and in honor of Elvira, I'm gonna do like a purple. I was gonna do green, because I don't know, I just literally saw someone with like green lipstick and this eyeshadow and it was freaking gorgeous. But in honor of Elvira, I'm gonna do purple. It actually comes on like an hour and a half or so, but I just randomly just was like, I wanna make a video. So we're gonna go through, do this, and then go watch that. Okay, so one of the movies I did want to talk about though, I have two movies. One is Superhost on Shudder, and the other one is Aftermath on Netflix. The Superhost I watched last weekend. Aftermath I watched last night. I don't know if I have lots to say, but I have things to say, alright? We will start with Superhost, because I watched it last week. I don't know, it just feels natural. It feels like that's how it should be. So this movie is basically about a couple that are vloggers, which I kind of love that. As someone who is in their 20s and grew up with YouTube, loves YouTube, does YouTube videos, like I just love anything that has to do with like vloggers and stuff. Like, it's just so modern and fun, whatever. And so basically they have like an account called Superhost where they stay at like VRBOs, things like that, and then they leave reviews on it, and that's like their channel. And they go to this one place. It's a really nice place, way out in the woods, and basically the woman who is like the host or the Superhost or whatever, at first she seems okay. Actually, I think from the very start she seems like a crazy person. But she like seems like okay, like she's just weird or odd, and then slowly it just becomes like the vacation from hell, and it's actually a really fun movie. It kind of reminds me of like kind of a Vacancy, something like that. A Vacancy is like, oh god, that movie's from like 2006 or something, but I love that movie. Anyway, but it kind of reminds me of something like that, where basically you're staying somewhere and this person, they can see you, hear you, like they know what you're doing, and if they're like weirdos, I mean, that can be kind of scary. And this chick is definitely a weirdo, so definitely go check that out. don't want to get too much into it, but basically if you have seen it, I am now, spoiler alerts, I will put something here, spoiler alerts. But this girl is freaking batshit crazy. The girl that plays, I'll put it up here, I don't want to Google it. The girl that plays, like, the Superhost, the woman who is renting out her house, she literally does such a good job, because she's such, like, a cute, like, little, like, I don't know, I don't know what she gives me. She gives me, like, fall, like, white girl, like, pumpkin, cappuccino vibes, whatever. But then she's a freaking lunatic. And when they do the, goddamn, what are they called? I need black. Of course I need black. Interview, yeah. So when they do the interview with her for their Superhost show, and she just, like, literally starts screaming. Like, she made me laugh so many times. She is literally, like, the pinnacle of the kind of killers I love on, like, horror movies. And she is kind of, like, she gives me, like, Terrifier vibes, or kind of like almost every character from, like, Rob Zombie movies, where they're literally psychotic. So, like, they act crazy, but they don't realize how crazy they're being. Like, they think they're just normal, or they really, like go into the crazy. They know how crazy they are, and they think it's fun and funny. Those are the best, because you're just like, dude, you are, like, insane. And she's literally insane. Oh my god. And then the part where that freaking, so at one point, one of the main points, if not the main point of this whole movie, Superhost, is the two people that are the vloggers. They end up giving this woman, a past Superhost, a bad review, and which actually is played by Barbara Compton, in case you didn't know. And she does an amazing job. She doesn't have a huge role, but, like, it's just cool that she's there and it's fun. And they give her a really bad review on their blog, whatever. I think they might do a blog and a blog. And so that, like, basically ruined her reputation as a Superhost, or as a host, whatever. And it, like, cut into her money and everything else. And so this woman, she tracks these two down at their new place, because obviously they, like, vlog, like, every bit of what they're doing, so everyone kind of knows where they're going, or at least, like, what area they're in or whatever. And this woman tracks them down, and she, like, basically attacks them, kind of. Like, she, like, throws a rock through the window because they're inside, and it's not even their house. Like, they're literally renting this home. And they come out, and she's, like, being crazy because, like, I mean, they ruined her livelihood is basically what she even says. And then the chick that's a Superhost for this place, the cute little fall girl, she literally comes out and she's like, "Can I help you?" Da-da-da. And the lady's like, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, these people are gonna, like, screw you over and give a bad review and da-da-da-da-da. And as this woman's talking, she literally starts screaming at them and is like, "Get off my property." And then she tells her if she doesn't leave, that she's gonna gut her. And she's literally a psychopath. And the vlog couple, they're just standing there like, what in the hell? And I died laughing at that part. Like, you don't even know. It was so funny. I'm like, what in the hell is happening? Let me know what your thoughts are of Superhost down at the bottom, because I really want to know. I really enjoyed it. I thought the whole thing was fun. There were parts where I was on the edge of my seat and I was like, what in the heck? Because there's kind of like this cat and mouse chase, which we love. Her as a killer, I honestly wasn't sure exactly, like, what was going on. Well, I kind of guessed it toward the beginning, because basically, again, this is all spoilers, basically she rents or stays, whatever, with the people who actually own the house, and she wanted to just basically live there forever because she's a crazy person, and she kills them, and then she ends up renting the place out. But I don't know if the vlog couple already had a, like, standing, like, a scheduled time to stay there, or if this woman went online to schedule them. I think she might have went online to schedule them, because toward the end she takes, so basically the couple, like, he proposes to her, whatever, and she has a ring, and the crazy girl, woman, whatever, she takes that ring and puts it on, I think it's a necklace, and it has, like, other rings on it. So I don't know if that was to say that she's, like, a serial killer, or that she's been jumping from, like, VRBOs and doing this kind of stuff. Definitely a serial killer, but I don't know if it's saying that she does this kind of thing. But it's definitely a modern horror movie, which I love a modern horror movie. Like, we've all seen the slashers, we've all seen the crazy people that escape insane asylums, or the mentally ill person that's, you know, some kind of distant family member that does something. Like, I like seeing the more modern things. The other stuff is good, it's just old hat, you know? Let's jump into our eyebrows and then our eyeballs. Okay, so if you haven't watched the movie, I definitely recommend it. Probably should have said that before I went through all of it, but I definitely recommend it. It was a fun movie. I mean, it wasn't like life-changing, but it was pretty good. I've seen some bad things about it online, but I guess I follow a lot of people that watch horror movies and stuff, and I'm not always going to see people that agree with everything, which is fine. I really shouldn't. I mean, movies are art, they're subjective, whatever. But it actually was a pretty good movie. So the other movie I watched this last night. It's called Aftermath on Netflix, and it's also modern. Oh, it's also new. I think it just came out a couple weeks ago. It definitely came out this year, if not this month. But it has, first of all, okay, so it's about a couple, and they are moving to a new house to start kind of like a new life, start fresh, because one cheated on the other, whole thing. And the guy, just kind of cool, he is a crime scene cleaner, so like, the movie itself is, I would say, I mean, I guess it's technically a horror movie maybe, but it's more of like a thriller. It kind of gives me like Lifetime vibes, but sometimes I like those kind of movies, you know? Sometimes, like, I love a good gory, crazy movie, but sometimes those like more kind of like real type movies are more interesting sometimes. And I just said sometimes like 500 times. Okay, I'm gonna do purple in my eyeballs. But anyway, so the actors in it, the two main actors, one is Alice from freaking Twilight, which love that. Love her. Love Twilight. Love it all. And what is her name? I did take a screenshot of this so I can tell you what her name is. Her name is Ashley Greene. And then so she's the wife. And then the guy, the husband, whatever, he is Bobby from X-Men or one of the detectives from The Following. And that is Shawn Ashmore. Well, I saw this too. I knew him right away, but her hair is long. And I kept like, as she was like talking and stuff, like her facial features, I'm like, I know who this is. And then all of a sudden it kind of hit me. I was like, oh, that's the freaking Alice from Twilight. Because I love Twilight. I watch a lot. No hate. We know no Twilight hate up in this bitch. I'll tell you that right now. Alright. So we're going to do some purple vibes. Alright, so while I'm doing this, we'll talk about Aftermath. I'll give you the quick synopsis before I go into all the details. So basically this couple, they want a new fresh start. They move into a nice new home. And he is a crime cleanup person, and he actually just cleaned up a murder-suicide in this house. And so they were able to get this really nice, beautiful home for like pretty cheap because no one else really wanted it. Because not only was there a murder-suicide, but it also was very like recently. So like people probably kind of knew of them, like no one really wanted the house. So they get it for a pretty decent price, and this whole time they have like their own like things going on because one of them cheated on the other. So like there's that like constant like, I don't really trust you, you don't really trust me, rebuilding a relationship type thing going on. And then there's also this presence in the home, and there's like things moving around, and one person, it's very classic. It's a very classic story. Like one person sees it and hears it and whatever, and the other person doesn't, and they have trust issues anyway. So like they're like, I don't know if you're lying to me or if you're really seeing stuff. And it's just kind of like, those things always annoy me. I mean, I get you have trust issues, whatever, but it's like, if this person is telling you that all these things are happening, even if what they're telling you isn't exactly happening, there's obviously something wrong, so don't just write them off. Like, there's obviously something going on, you know? You have to at least keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're into the spoilers. So, basically, the person who is seeing all this stuff, if you haven't seen it or if you don't care, you just want me to tell you about it, the person that's seeing all the things is the woman, of course, and she's also the one that cheated. So, the guy, the husband, he, like, wants to forgive her. He has forgiven her for the most part. And he wants to move on, and she also wants to move on from everything that happened. But now she's, like, starting to see things in the house. She's seeing, like, doors move. Stuff around the house is moving. Like, music's getting turned on. Very basic, like, haunted house type vibes, which I kind of love. I love a good haunted house. I even love, like, a good, like, thriller type movie that's not necessarily, like, super horrifying or super scary or whatever. And I was watching this alone in the dark at night, and those always just give me, like, the haunted house type stuff always give me, like, bad vibes. But not in a bad way. Like, I don't know. It just kind of like puts me on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean. Alright, we're going to go with a darker purple now that we did this lighter purple. I'm going to add maybe some more light purple, I think. But let's go in with this. Ooh, that is dark. Add some of that. But anyway, I felt bad for this woman, though. Like, I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I get that she is, like, fucked you over, but she's not freaking lying. Like, something is going on. But throughout it, you don't really know what it is. You're like, you don't know if it is, because at one point she sees like this skinny white man, and she's like, I just saw this man, and they're like, she ends up calling the cops and everything, and they search the whole house, and they're like, no one's here, your doors were locked when we got here, like everything's locked, windows are locked, doors are locked, they don't know what's going on. And after that, I was kind of like, the whole time you're like, is it in her head or is it really happening? Like, is someone somehow getting in the house, or is it just in her head? And it kind of goes back and forth for you. And I kind of called it like halfway through, if not sooner, that there might be someone living in the house, which is like such a weird fear of like, actually it's not even a fear that I've had other than watching movies. It's like a fear that was given to me by horror movies. But like, you have to be careful. You just never know. You never know if someone's living in your freaking walls or whatever else. So basically, as this is going on, she's like seeing all these things, and every time the cops or her husband or whoever finally listens to her and gets involved, it's like too late. Like, the guy's gone, the stuff is done moving or whatever. And that just drives me nuts. But then there's this one part, which this is very much spoilers. There's this one part that I was kind of shook, like I didn't realize was going to happen, because when they bought the house, like the person that they bought the house from, I think it was her brother that died, or I guess he was technically the one that like murdered his wife and then committed suicide. And they got the house for like a really good deal. So the woman's husband, the woman who sold the house, her husband thought that the people that bought the house, the two main characters, took advantage of her. So he was like messing with them big time and trying to like screw them over. And the stuff that he did was like crazy. And I kind of knew. So there's one part where the woman who's like the main character, Alice from Twilight, she is home alone, and this is after all this crazy stuff's happened, and some guy has been like watching her house, and she's noticed him here and there, but like hasn't really said anything about it much. And he comes to the door with flowers, and she's like, what the heck? And so she opens the door, and she's like, can I help you? And he was like, oh hi, you're really pretty, da da da. And she's like, okay. And then she goes to shut the door, and he like pushes the door in, and he attacks her. And, like, nothing, like, happens, but it shows, like, you know what was going to happen. And she ends up, like, getting away, stabbing him, whatever. And then they go to the police station, obviously, to, like, put in the report, and she called the police, whatever. And the freaking woman's husband, the one that sold the house, her husband, he literally put her stuff online and said that she was, like, looking for, like, a rough time. And I'm just like, what in the hell? Like, first of all, why would anyone trust that? I mean, obviously it's a movie, but still. And that was like such a crazy thing. I'm like, ew, that's like something somebody could actually do to somebody else. And that's terrifying. So basically he took like her photo and acted like it was like an account like for her, and like had her name and everything, and put like, looking for a guy that will come and like basically intrude into my house and take advantage of me, and that somehow this is consensual because you're putting it out there on the internet. But like, it could be anyone. Like, that does not mean it's this woman talking. Like, that's so crazy. Like, that's terrifying. So I would say, a lot of the stuff I did expect, but that I didn't expect. I was, like, shook from that. I was like, oh my god. Like, that's really crazy. Like, I know that guy was mad at him, but damn. I mean, just don't sell the house to him. I mean, it's really that simple. Like, you didn't have to. So those are kind of all the layers I was talking about, because you have the dynamic of the couple, the dynamic of the person in the house that's like messing with them, and then the dynamic of this guy on the outside that's messing with them. And these poor people just cannot catch a break. Mainly this woman. I mean, the guy, he kind of annoys me, honestly. But mainly the woman, she cannot catch a break. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is actually pretty good. I don't know, it's just kind of a chill movie. Like, I just like put it on, and it was just like, I was kind of playing on my phone while it was going on, honestly, because it was pretty what's the word? Like, I pretty much could kind of guess what was going on. But if you supposed something chill, like, it was pretty chill. So those are the 2 movies that I've watched recently. I've rewatched other movies, but the one movie I've rewatched, I've talked about on here before, but let's just bring it up again. Okay, Summer of '84. I love that movie so much. It's one of my favorite movies. It's from like 2018. And I just love any time like a group of kids get together and go like solve some mysteries and do some fun things. Like, don't we all love that? I don't know, if you haven't seen Summer of '84, you have to go watch it, dude. It's so good. It's such a good movie. It's so fun. Kind of gives me like It vibes, or at least the new It vibes. Not necessarily because of the killer, but because of just like a gang of kids like hanging out, solving some crimes, whatever. And the whole thing, it's pretty chill and tame, but like the last like 10-20 minutes, not even 10 minutes, like the last like 20 minutes get really dark and like, oh my god. Like, it makes up for all the slowness of the rest of the movie. But even the rest of the movie's not really slow, it's just more chill. I mean, it really is just kids hanging out, trying to solve a crime. When I first watched it, I did not expect the ending at all. I thought it'd be like way more tame. Ew, you know what? Another movie though that I watched on Shudder the other day that's really good. I made a TikTok about it. It's called Found. It's so crazy. Did I talk about this in my last video? I may have. I don't know. I would talk about it again because I don't remember if I did or not. But it's so dark and crazy. It's really dark. If you don't like dark movies, don't watch it. But like there's like some, like there's good acting in it, but then there's some bad acting. So basically it's a teenage boy and he is a serial killer, and he has a younger brother who's like 13, and he like looks up to him. And this kid, like right off the bat, he like knows his brother's a serial killer. Like, he found his heads is what it is. And so they live with their parents, and it gives like this whole, it shows this kid's life as living with a serial killer who's not even a parent but your brother, and kind of like the different things that he like battles in his head and things like that. So if you want to go watch that, go watch it. But I'm about to get more into it. Basically, it's a good movie. It's a little low budget, and it can be very disturbing. It is very disturbing. It just is. So let's talk more about it because we must. Okay, my eyes look super cute. I just need some eyeliner for this. Let's do some eyeliner. I'm gonna do a red lip with it because why the heck not? So this movie, I think I was on Shudder, and it was under like killers or whatever, which I love that because I love paranormal stuff. I love stuff about like killers or serial killers. And then the more like you go into like the sci-fi creature feature, like I like some things, like I can pick things out that I like, but for the most part those aren't my favorite. Basically, like killer slasher type things, found footage movies, and stuff about paranormal is like my favorite, my go-to, whatever. And so anyway, but this guy, he's like 18 years old. I think he's 17 or 18 years old, and he keeps these people's heads in a, oh, before we get into all this, trigger warning for that movie, because there is lots of racism too. Like, I mean, this kid's already a serial killer, but he's also like super racist, and his family's racist, and that stuff kind of was like, ew. I mean, if you watch it though, you'll be like, that's the part that bothered you? Yes. Alright, that's the part that bothered me, even though it gets way more fucked up throughout the movie. But just so you know, like, you were warned. And, but yeah, so this guy, he basically kills people, mainly black people, and puts their heads in a bowling bag and keeps it in his closet because why wouldn't you? And I guess, honestly, as a teenage boy, and keeping a dead head in your room is like, no one's gonna find it because teenage boys' rooms already smell like death, so, like, that's literally the perfect hiding place. It's not there for too long. Like, I don't know what, actually, I do know what he does with it. I don't want to go into that on the channel. You can imagine. Just think of like the most crazy effed up thing you can do with it. That's what he does with it. But it's mainly, the main character is his brother, and his brother loves horror movies. And I kind of love that. Like, I don't know why, but it just kind of adds like another like funness to it, because like obviously I love horror movies. And this kid's dad is like an a-hole. I mean, he's like kind of like an average white father, I would imagine, where like he's not terribly mean, but he's not nice, you know? It's like he doesn't like beat the crap out of his kids. He's not like an alcoholic, but he's just like, he's racist and he kind of just says ignorant things and you just kind of look past it. At least these kids do for the most part. Yeah, and then of course the mom goes to church, and oh my god, that was a whole thing too. Because there's this part, which again, this is spoilers. There's a part where the main character, the 13-year-old boy or however old he is, like 13, 14, he goes to church with his mom, and these kids are making fun of him. And that's the whole thing too, is like, throughout the whole thing, he's being bullied by like everybody. Like, he's always being bullied. People, like, kids are always so mean to him. And then his brother's like a legit serial killer, so his brother's like, well, just beat their ass, like, just, you know, kill them. Like, make them feel your pain or whatever. And so, like, really, these kids should be careful, because eventually, I mean, he doesn't kill anybody, but he does punch a kid, or at least he hits him. And then, of course, the kid cries, and it's like, you literally were bullying him. Like, what did you expect was going to happen? I love this freaking eyeliner so much. It's so good. And also, just so you know, I have like I don't even know what I'm going to call it yet, but basically it's going to be like a 31 days of Halloween or something like that. And I'm going to give like recommendations of Halloween movies, but I do want to compose a list of horror movies that are like perfect for Halloween time, for October. And I don't know, I'm trying to find like, I feel like a lot of people that are into horror movies and stuff can almost like go through their head and pick like think of 10 like right now off the top of their head. And I will include some of the obvious ones for like people that maybe aren't huge horror fans like a lot of us, but I also want to try to include movies that a lot of people haven't heard of and still give those like spooky Halloween vibes. So that's my goal right now. This week I've been working on trying to find those movies, and I've been doing that through searching different streaming services, and also like just looking through different like forums and on Twitter, lots on Twitter. Speaking of, if you don't already, please follow me at chelsiewrath on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They're all very horror related, fun. They all give a little bit different of a vibe, but I do these like mini, they're called little horror reviews over there of different movies. Like, I try to watch a movie and then do like a little horror review, put up on TikTok, and I don't give really anything away. I literally just give like kind of like a synopsis of what it is, my opinions, and if you should go check it out and where I watched it. So just so you know, quick little thing there. And I have about 40 minutes and then my show will be on. Elvira, Mistress of the Darkness. My husband asked me who Elvira was. Honey. Okay, but anyway, but going back to the movie Found, boy, you should watch that movie if you like dark, messed up things. The ending was crazy. I would say the ending, I was not expecting the ending, and that like last scene, it gave me like, not that it's the same at all, but one of the most like crazy endings for me was like Sleepaway Camp, I don't know, something like that. Maybe even like Midsummer, kind of like the like final act, things like that. It kind of gave me those vibes of like, what in the hell? Like, you would not have expected it. You're like, oh my gosh, like you feel just very uneasy. That's this movie. If you like those vibes, go freaking watch it. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen any of these movies and what your opinions are, because I want to know. I need to do some more stuff back here though too. I think I'm going to do a movie poster right here, and then I think I'm going to have my orange lights back up here. I put them in my front room, but I think I'm going to move them into here. I can't wait to get pumpkins, like our pumpkins. What do you guys do for like October? We love to go get like pumpkins and do that. That's like the main thing. And I watch horror movies, but I watch horror movies all year round, so like it's not really anything crazy, you know. I would say though, the thing about Halloween and like October that I love is that everyone gets into the spooky season. So even though I watch horror movies all year round, there are a lot more horror movies that come out. Speaking of, Halloween Kills is coming out. I cannot wait to watch that. And a lot of, I think I see Netflix right now, they have like a Halloween horror or something like that recommendation thing, and they might have some new movies coming out. I'm not 100% sure. I know Shudder does a whole thing. They have like their 61 days of Halloween. I also have HBO Max. I wonder if they're gonna do something. I'm sure they will. I love that. And then sometimes when I just want to like relax and chill from the horror movies, I'll go over to like Disney Plus. Those are like my main things, is like Shudder and Disney Plus. And I'll go over there and watch like Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus or something like that. I might do a video. I think I'm gonna do a video of like Halloween movies or like spooky season movies that are rated like PG-13 and under, because there are a lot of good ones, and sometimes I see people ask on Twitter and stuff like, what are good like scary movies, spooky movies that are good for kids that aren't just like the same old same old. I mean, I will put those ones on there too because they're classics, but I'm gonna add some other ones. As a 20-some-year-old who grew up with Disney and grew up with like some of the younger generation movies, I'm gonna add them on there because I've seen a lot of them and they're actually pretty good for the most part. Or movies that people just have not heard of. So I think I am gonna do that. I think it's gonna be a video. If it's not a video, it's a TikTok. Basically, anytime anything is in my brain, if it doesn't make it into a video or I haven't done a video yet, usually it's on a TikTok. They're literally so fun, and they're so much quicker than this, but I like this because I like just chatting and doing makeup because it's like fun. I'm gonna do red lipstick in commemoration of Elvira. I don't know if commemoration is the right word. In honor of. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but in honor of. And you already know we're gonna do an ombre look because welcome to my channel where all my lip are ombre looks. I don't know what else to do. So let's do some highlighter and then we'll be done. This look is really freaking cute. This whole makeup look is adorable. Am I giving like Elvira vibes? So that's what I'm going for. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Definitely be on the lookout for my Halloween movie video. Not sure what's gonna be called yet. Let me know what movie you've watched recently or that you're looking forward to. Thank you so much for joining me for this little video, this cute little makeup look. I guess I was gonna tell you to go watch Elvira's 40th special, but it's probably over now. If you watched that, let me know down in the comments because by the time this goes up, I would have already seen it. So, alright, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace out.